It was a chilly autumn evening when a group of friends decided to spend their Friday night at the local bowling alley. Among them was Sarah, an avid bowler known for her competitive spirit. As they entered the alley, they were greeted by the sound of crashing pins and the aroma of greasy food. Excitement filled the air as they laced up their bowling shoes and selected their balls. Sarah, determined to maintain her winning streak, stepped up to the lane first. With a confident stance, she launched the ball down the lane, only to watch in horror as it veered sharply to the side, careening into the gutter. Confused and frustrated, Sarah tried again, but the same result ensued. Each time she threw the ball, it seemed as if an invisible force was guiding it off course. Her friends exchanged worried glances as Sarah's frustration turned to desperation. Suddenly, a mysterious figure emerged from the shadows of the bowling alley. Clad in tattered clothing and sporting a menacing grin, the stranger approached Sarah. "I see you're having some trouble," the stranger said in a voice that sent shivers down her spine. Sarah nodded, unable to tear her gaze away from the stranger's piercing eyes. "I can help you," the stranger whispered, extending a gnarled hand towards her. Reluctantly, Sarah accepted the stranger's offer, hoping for a miracle. But as soon as she took the stranger's hand, a chilling sensation washed over her, and she felt a surge of energy coursing through her veins. To her horror, Sarah realized that she had made a deal with the devil himself. From that moment on, every time she stepped up to the bowling lane, her throws became increasingly erratic and uncontrollable. The once friendly atmosphere of the bowling alley turned sinister as Sarah's friends watched in terror, unable to intervene. The curse of the Bowler's Pact had taken hold, and Sarah was doomed to spend eternity trapped in a never-ending game of bowling, tormented by her own competitive nature and the sinister forces that had ensnared her. And so, as the clock struck midnight and the echoes of crashing pins faded into the darkness, Sarah's fate was sealed, a cautionary tale for anyone who dared to challenge the unknown forces that lurk within the lanes of the bowling alley. As the curse tightened its grip on Sarah, her once joyful outings with friends turned into nightmares. Each visit to the bowling alley became a harrowing ordeal, with Sarah's desperation growing with every failed throw. Her friends, once eager companions, now hesitated to join her, haunted by the memory of that fateful night. They watched helplessly as Sarah's obsession with breaking the curse consumed her. But Sarah refused to give up. Determined to break free from the devil's grip, she delved into ancient texts and obscure rituals, searching for a way to undo the curse that bound her. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, but Sarah's efforts proved futile. The curse was too powerful, its origins too mysterious to unravel. As the years passed, Sarah's once bright spirit faded, replaced by a hollow emptiness. She became a solitary figure, her existence defined by the relentless pursuit of redemption. But even as Sarah's hopes dwindled, a glimmer of light pierced the darkness. Through sheer determination and unwavering courage, she discovered a loophole in the curse, a chance for salvation. With newfound resolve, Sarah embarked on a perilous journey, facing trials and tribulations beyond imagination. Along the way, she encountered allies and adversaries alike, each testing her resolve in ways she could never have imagined. And finally, after a long and arduous quest, Sarah stood once more before the bowling alley where her nightmare began. With a steady hand and a heart full of hope, she approached the lane, ready to confront the devil himself. In a climactic showdown that shook the very foundations of the bowling alley, Sarah faced her greatest challenge yet. But this time, she was not alone. With the support of her friends and the strength of her newfound courage, she stood firm against the forces of darkness. And as the final pin fell, signaling her victory, Sarah felt the weight of the curse lift from her shoulders. With a triumphant smile, she emerged from the alley, reborn and free at last. Though the memory of her ordeal would always linger, Sarah emerged from her trial stronger and wiser than before. And as she walked into the dawn of a new day, she knew that no challenge could ever dim the light that burned within her. The curse of the Bowler's Pact had been broken, and Sarah was finally free to embrace the joys of life once more. As Sarah emerged from the alley, a sense of relief washed over her like a cleansing tide. The weight of the curse had lifted, leaving her feeling lighter than she had in years. But amidst the jubilation, a lingering sense of unease remained. The encounter with the devil had left its mark on Sarah, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. She knew that the path ahead would not be without its challenges, but she was determined to face them head-on, armed with the lessons she had learned along the way. Returning to her friends, Sarah found solace in their embrace. Together, they celebrated her victory, grateful to have their companion back by their side. But as the night wore on and the echoes of their laughter faded into the darkness, a solemn realization settled over them. Though Sarah had broken free from the curse, the bowling alley remained a place of danger and mystery. The devil's presence still lingered in the shadows, a silent threat waiting to ensnare unwary souls. Determined to prevent others from suffering the same fate, Sarah and her friends vowed to keep a watchful eye on the alley, ready to intervene at the first sign of trouble. And so, as they stood united against the darkness, they knew that their journey was far from over. But for now, they allowed themselves a moment of respite, reveling in the triumph of their victory. For even in the face of evil, they had emerged victorious, bound together by the unbreakable bonds of friendship and the enduring power of hope. And as they walked away from the bowling alley, the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon, they knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their determination to overcome whatever obstacles stood in their way. The curse of the Bowler's Pact had been broken, but the journey had only just begun. As Sarah and her friends ventured into the dawn, the weight of their shared ordeal lifted with each step. They walked in silence for a while, the cool morning air invigorating their spirits. But even amidst the tranquility of the new day, a sense of foreboding lingered in their minds. The events of the night had left an indelible mark on each of them, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beneath the surface of their seemingly ordinary world. They knew that the threat of the devil's curse still loomed large, casting a shadow over their lives. But as they walked, Sarah felt a newfound sense of purpose stirring within her. She had faced the devil and emerged victorious, and now she was determined to use her experience to help others avoid a similar fate. With the support of her friends, Sarah founded a support group for those who had fallen victim to the curse of the Bowler's Pact. Together, they shared their stories, offering comfort and guidance to those who sought solace in their company. Through their efforts, Sarah and her friends became beacons of hope in a world plagued by darkness. They helped countless individuals break free from the grip of the curse, offering them a chance at redemption and a renewed sense of purpose. And as the years passed, the legend of Sarah and her friends grew, their tales serving as a reminder of the power of courage, friendship, and the indomitable human spirit. Though the threat of the devil's curse still loomed large, they faced it head-on, secure in the knowledge that together, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. And so, as they walked into the future, their hearts filled with hope and determination, Sarah and her friends knew that their journey was far from over. But with each passing day, they grew stronger, their bond unbreakable, their resolve unwavering. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined them, but the light that shone within their hearts. As Sarah and her friends continued their journey, their determination never waned. They faced numerous challenges along the way, but with each trial, they grew stronger, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. One fateful night, they received word of a new threat emerging from the depths of the bowling alley. Rumors spoke of a dark presence stirring once more, its malevolent influence spreading like a plague. Without hesitation, Sarah and her friends sprang into action, rallying their allies and marshalling their forces for the final showdown. As they approached the bowling alley, the air crackled with tension, the very ground trembling beneath their feet. With a resounding battle cry, they charged into the heart of the darkness, their weapons raised high and their spirits unbroken. The clash was fierce and intense, each blow striking with the force of thunder. But in the end, it was Sarah who stood at the forefront, her courage shining like a beacon in the night. With a mighty roar, she struck the final blow, banishing the darkness once and for all. As the dawn broke over the horizon, Sarah and her friends emerged victorious, their faces bathed in the warm light of triumph. The curse of the Bowlers' Pact had been vanquished, and peace reigned once more. But though their journey had come to an end, Sarah knew that their adventures were far from over. For as long as there were shadows to be fought and darkness to be banished, she and her friends would stand ready, their hearts ablaze with the fire of justice. And so, as they walked into the sunrise, their heads held high and their spirits soaring, Sarah and her friends knew that they had become legends, their tale etched into the annals of history for all time. For theirs was a story of courage, of friendship, and of the unyielding determination to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the heart of the small town of Willowbrook stood an old bowling alley, its neon sign flickering eerily in the night. Legends whispered of its dark past, of curses and forgotten souls trapped within its walls. But for most residents, it was simply a place to gather and have a good time. One chilly autumn evening, a group of friends decided to spend their Friday night at the bowling alley. Among them was Jake, a confident bowler known for his competitive spirit. As they entered the alley, the atmosphere was electric, the sound of crashing pins mingling with the laughter of patrons. With eager anticipation, Jake stepped up to the lane first, his friends cheering him on from the sidelines. But as he launched the ball down the lane, a sudden chill ran down his spine. The ball veered off course, careening into the gutter with a resounding thud. Confused and unnerved, Jake tried again, but the same result ensued. Each time he threw the ball, it seemed as if an invisible force was working against him. His friends exchanged worried glances, sensing that something was amiss. As the night wore on, strange occurrences began to unfold. Bowling balls rolled of their own accord, pins fell without being touched, and eerie whispers echoed through the alley. Jake and his friends tried to brush off their unease, but the sense of dread only grew stronger with each passing moment. Determined to uncover the truth behind the bizarre happenings, Jake delved into the alley's history, uncovering tales of a tragic accident that had occurred decades ago. It was said that the spirits of those who had perished still haunted the alley, their restless souls seeking vengeance for their untimely demise. Undeterred by the chilling revelations, Jake and his friends resolved to confront the spirits and put an end to their torment. Armed with nothing but their courage and determination, they ventured into the darkest depths of the alley, their hearts pounding with fear and anticipation. As they reached the heart of the alley, they were met with a sight that sent shivers down their spines. Shadows danced along the walls, and a cold wind whispered through the air. And there, standing before them, was the ghostly figure of a bowler, his eyes blazing with fury. With a blood-curdling scream, the spirit attacked, sending Jake and his friends scrambling for safety. But even as they fought back with all their strength, it seemed as if the ghost was unstoppable, its wrath fueled by years of anger and resentment. Just as all hope seemed lost, Jake remembered something he had read in his research, a ritual that could banish the spirits and cleanse the alley of their presence. With no other options left, he and his friends gathered in a circle and began to chant, their voices rising above the chaos. Slowly but surely, the ghostly figure began to fade, its form dissolving into wisps of smoke. And as the final words of the ritual echoed through the alley, a sense of peace washed over Jake and his friends, the darkness lifting like a veil. With the spirits vanquished and the curse broken, the alley was once again filled with laughter and joy. Jake and his friends emerged from the ordeal stronger than ever, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. And as they left the alley behind, they knew that they had faced true horror and emerged victorious, their courage shining like a beacon in the night. As Jake and his friends emerged from the haunted bowling alley, the weight of their harrowing experience lifted from their shoulders. They walked out into the cool night air, breathing deeply and relishing the sensation of freedom after their ordeal. The town of Willowbrook seemed different somehow, as if the darkness that had loomed over the alley had dissipated, leaving behind an atmosphere of tranquility. Stars twinkled in the night sky, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the nearby trees. But even as they celebrated their victory, Jake and his friends knew that their journey was far from over. The memory of the spirits that had haunted the alley would stay with them, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. Determined to prevent others from falling victim to the curse, Jake and his friends vowed to spread the word of their experience, warning anyone who dared to enter the alley of the dangers that lay within. They organized community events and fundraisers, using the proceeds to renovate the alley and turn it into a safe and welcoming space for all. As word spread of their efforts, the people of Willowbrook rallied behind them, offering their support and encouragement. Together, they worked tirelessly to cleanse the alley of its dark past, transforming it into a place of light and laughter once more. Months passed, and the alley flourished under Jake and his friends' care. Families came from far and wide to enjoy a night of bowling and camaraderie, unaware of the horrors that had once plagued the place. But as time went on, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that their battle with the spirits was far from over. Late at night, he would lie awake, haunted by visions of shadowy figures and echoing whispers. One evening, as Jake was closing up the alley, he heard a faint scratching sound coming from the darkest corner of the building. Heart pounding, he cautiously approached, his senses on high alert. To his horror, he discovered a hidden chamber beneath the floorboards, its walls lined with ancient symbols and sigils. In the center of the chamber stood a weathered altar, upon which rested a tattered book bound in leather. As Jake reached out to touch the book, a sudden gust of wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing the candles that lined the walls. In the darkness, he heard a voice filled with malice and despair. "You may have banished us once," the voice whispered, "but you cannot destroy us. We are eternal, and we will return." With a sense of dread coursing through his veins, Jake slammed the book shut and fled from the chamber, vowing to never return. But even as he tried to put the encounter behind him, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that the spirits of the alley were still watching, biding their time until they could exact their revenge. And so, as the people of Willowbrook continued to enjoy their nights at the bowling alley, Jake remained vigilant, knowing that the darkness had not yet been defeated, and that the true battle had only just begun. Months passed, and Jake's unease only grew stronger. Despite his best efforts to convince himself that the encounter in the hidden chamber was just a figment of his imagination, he couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was lurking just beyond the edge of reality. As he went about his daily routine, Jake found himself constantly on edge, his senses heightened and his nerves frayed. He became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind the spirits that had haunted the alley, delving into ancient texts and obscure folklore in search of answers. But the more he searched, the more elusive the truth became. The stories he uncovered spoke of dark rituals and forbidden magic, of ancient pacts made with otherworldly entities. It seemed that the spirits of the alley were not bound by the laws of the mortal world, but by something far more sinister. Determined to confront the source of the darkness once and for all, Jake gathered his friends and embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of the unknown. Together, they ventured into the depths of the forest that bordered Willowbrook, following a trail of cryptic clues and whispered rumors. As they journeyed deeper into the wilderness, the air grew thick with tension, and the shadows seemed to writhe and twist with malevolent intent. But Jake and his friends pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of the unknown. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they arrived at their destination, a desolate clearing hidden deep within the forest. At its center stood a crumbling stone altar, its surface etched with strange symbols and arcane sigils. With a sense of foreboding, Jake approached the altar, his heart pounding in his chest. As he reached out to touch the ancient stone, a blinding light erupted from its surface, illuminating the clearing in a dazzling display of otherworldly power. And then, from the shadows emerged the spirits of the alley, their forms twisted and distorted by centuries of torment. With a chorus of anguished wails, they descended upon Jake and his friends, their spectral claws tearing at their flesh with unrelenting fury. But even as they fought for their lives, Jake refused to surrender to despair. With a mighty roar, he unleashed a surge of energy from deep within his soul, banishing the spirits back to the darkness from whence they came. As the last echoes of their cries faded into the night, Jake and his friends collapsed to the ground, exhausted but victorious. The darkness that had plagued Willowbrook for so long had finally been vanquished, and peace had returned to the land once more. But as they caught their breath and surveyed the clearing around them, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that their battle was far from over. For in the darkness that lurked beyond the edge of the forest, he sensed the presence of something far more ancient and far more powerful, a force that had been awakened by their actions, and that would stop at nothing to reclaim what had been lost. And so, as they made their way back to Willowbrook, Jake and his friends knew that they would have to remain ever vigilant, for the darkness that had been banished could rise again, and the true battle for their home had only just begun. As Jake and his friends returned to Willowbrook, they couldn't shake the feeling of unease that lingered in the air. Despite their victory over the spirits in the forest clearing, they knew that the darkness was not yet defeated. There was still a looming threat, a malevolent force waiting to strike. Determined to uncover the truth and protect their town, Jake and his friends embarked on a quest for knowledge. They consulted ancient tomes and sought out wise elders, searching for any clue that might help them understand the nature of the darkness that threatened their home. Their journey led them to the outskirts of Willowbrook, where they discovered an ancient burial ground hidden deep within the woods. Among the weathered tombstones and crumbling crypts, they uncovered a hidden chamber, a place of dark magic and forbidden rituals. As they explored the chamber, they stumbled upon a series of cryptic inscriptions etched into the stone walls. The words spoke of a powerful entity known as the Shadow King, a being of pure darkness who had been imprisoned within the depths of the earth for millennia. According to the inscriptions, the Shadow King had long sought to break free from his prison and unleash his reign of terror upon the world once more. And now, it seemed that his time had come. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Jake and his friends knew that they had to act quickly. With the fate of Willowbrook hanging in the balance, they devised a plan to confront the Shadow King and put an end to his dark reign once and for all. Armed with ancient relics and enchanted artifacts, Jake and his friends ventured deep into the heart of the earth, where the Shadow King lay imprisoned. As they descended into the darkness, they could feel the malevolent energy growing stronger with each step, threatening to consume them whole. But they pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. Finally, they reached the chamber where the Shadow King lay bound, his dark presence looming over them like a shroud. With a defiant cry, Jake and his friends unleashed the full power of their artifacts, channeling their energy into a mighty blast of light that engulfed the Shadow King in its brilliance. For a moment, it seemed as if the darkness would consume them all. But then, with a deafening roar, the Shadow King was vanquished, his malevolent essence scattered to the winds. As the chamber shook with the force of their victory, Jake and his friends emerged triumphant, their hearts filled with pride and relief. And as they returned to the surface, they knew that they had saved Willowbrook from a fate worse than death. The town rejoiced at their return, celebrating their bravery and resilience in the face of unimaginable danger. But even as the people of Willowbrook basked in the glow of their victory, Jake and his friends knew that their journey was far from over. For the forces of darkness were ever vigilant, and the true test of their resolve had only just begun. And so, as they stood together, united in purpose and determination, Jake and his friends vowed to protect their home from whatever threats may come, for as long as they drew breath. As Jake and his friends emerged from the depths of the earth, victorious over the Shadow King, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The sky above Willowbrook shimmered with a radiant light, casting away the shadows that had plagued the town for so long. But their moment of triumph was short-lived, for as they gazed upon the transformed landscape, a new threat emerged from the horizon, a massive army of darkness, led by a figure wreathed in shadow. With a sinking feeling in their hearts, Jake and his friends realized that their battle was far from over. The defeat of the Shadow King had drawn the attention of even greater evils, and now they faced their most formidable foe yet. With no time to waste, they rallied the people of Willowbrook and prepared for the ultimate showdown. Armed with courage and determination, they stood united against the encroaching darkness, ready to defend their home at any cost. As the enemy army descended upon Willowbrook, chaos erupted in the streets. But Jake and his friends fought bravely, their spirits undaunted by the overwhelming odds. With each blow, they pushed back the forces of darkness, inching closer to victory with every step. And then, just when all seemed lost, a miracle occurred. From the depths of the earth emerged a powerful force of light, led by the spirits of those who had fallen in battle against the Shadow King. With a mighty roar, they charged into the fray, turning the tide of battle in favor of the defenders. With renewed hope coursing through their veins, Jake and his friends fought with all their might, their determination unyielding in the face of adversity. And as the last echoes of battle faded into the night, they emerged victorious once more, their enemies vanquished and their homes safe from harm. As dawn broke over Willowbrook, the town rejoiced in their hard-won victory, celebrating the bravery and sacrifice of those who had fought to protect them. And as Jake and his friends stood amidst the cheering crowds, they knew that they had proven themselves worthy of the title of heroes. But even as they basked in the glory of their triumph, they knew that their journey was far from over. For the forces of darkness would always seek to rise again, and the true test of their courage would be in their willingness to stand vigilant against the shadows that lurked beyond the edge of the world. And so, as they looked to the future with hope in their hearts, Jake and his friends knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their determination to protect the town they loved. For theirs was a bond forged in the fires of adversity, a friendship that could withstand even the darkest of nights. And as they walked into the dawn of a new day, their spirits soaring with the promise of a brighter tomorrow, they knew that no matter what trials may come, they would always be there for each other, standing side by side against the forces of darkness. And so, the tale of Jake and his friends came to an end, a story of courage, sacrifice, and the unyielding power of friendship in the face of unimaginable danger. But in the hearts of those who had witnessed their bravery, their legend would live on, a beacon of hope in a world consumed by darkness. In the heart of the sleepy town of Ravenwood stood an old, forgotten bowling alley, its weathered sign creaking in the wind. Locals whispered tales of its haunted past, of strange occurrences that had plagued the alley for decades. But despite the warnings, a group of friends decided to spend their Friday night testing their luck on its cursed lanes. Among them was Emily, a bold and adventurous soul, eager to prove her skills on the alleys. As they entered the dimly lit building, a chill ran down Emily's spine, but she brushed off the feeling, eager for a night of fun with her friends. As the group laced up their bowling shoes and selected their balls, Emily felt a sense of unease settle over her. The air was thick with tension, and the sound of their laughter seemed to echo eerily through the empty lanes. Undeterred, Emily stepped up to the lane first, her friends cheering her on from the sidelines. But as she launched the ball down the alley, a strange sensation washed over her. The ball seemed to move of its own accord, veering sharply to the side and crashing into the gutter with a resounding thud. Confused and unnerved, Emily tried again, but the same result ensued. Each time she threw the ball, it seemed as if an invisible force was working against her. Her friends exchanged worried glances, sensing that something was amiss. Determined to uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences, Emily delved into the alley's history, uncovering tales of a tragic accident that had occurred many years ago. It was said that the spirits of those who had perished still haunted the alley, their restless souls seeking vengeance for their untimely demise. Undeterred by the chilling revelations, Emily and her friends resolved to confront the spirits and put an end to their torment. Armed with nothing but their courage and determination, they ventured into the darkest depths of the alley, their hearts pounding with fear and anticipation. As they reached the heart of the alley, they were met with a sight that sent shivers down their spines. Shadows danced along the walls, and a cold wind whispered through the air. And there, standing before them, was the ghostly figure of a bowler, his eyes blazing with fury. With a blood-curdling scream, the spirit attacked, sending Emily and her friends scrambling for safety. But even as they fought back with all their strength, it seemed as if the ghost was unstoppable, its wrath fueled by years of anger and resentment. Just as all hope seemed lost, Emily remembered something she had read in her research: a ritual that could banish the spirits and cleanse the alley of their presence. With no other options left, she and her friends gathered in a circle and began to chant, their voices rising above the chaos. Slowly but surely, the ghostly figure began to fade, its form dissolving into wisps of smoke. And as the final words of the ritual echoed through the alley, a sense of peace washed over Emily and her friends, the darkness lifting like a veil. With the spirits vanquished and the curse broken, the alley was once again filled with laughter and joy. Emily and her friends emerged from the ordeal stronger than ever, their bond forged in the fires of adversity. But as they left the alley behind, they knew that their journey was far from over. For even as they celebrated their victory, a new darkness loomed on the horizon, threatening to engulf them once more. And so, as they walked into the night, their hearts filled with hope and determination, Emily and her friends knew that they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, together as one. For theirs was a bond that could withstand even the darkest of nights, a friendship that would endure for all eternity. As Emily and her friends left the alley behind, a sense of relief washed over them. The weight of the curse had lifted, leaving them feeling lighter than they had in weeks. However, amidst the relief, a lingering sense of unease remained. The encounter with the spirits had left an indelible mark on Emily and her friends, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. They knew that the path ahead would not be without its challenges, but they were determined to face them together. As they made their way back to their homes, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was still amiss. Strange occurrences continued to plague Ravenwood, and whispers of dark forces at work circulated among the townsfolk. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily and her friends embarked on a new quest, delving deeper into the mysteries of Ravenwood. They searched for clues in dusty archives and whispered secrets from the town's oldest residents, piecing together fragments of a story that had long been forgotten. Their investigation led them to a hidden chamber beneath the town's oldest church, where they uncovered a trove of ancient artifacts and forbidden knowledge. Among the relics was a tome bound in human skin, its pages filled with incantations and dark rituals. As they pored over the tome's pages, Emily and her friends realized the true extent of the darkness that had gripped Ravenwood. It seemed that the town had been cursed long ago by a powerful sorcerer, his malevolent influence lingering even after his death. Determined to break the curse once and for all, Emily and her friends set out to find the source of the sorcerer's power. Their journey took them deep into the heart of the forest, where they discovered a hidden grove shrouded in darkness. There, they found an ancient tree, its gnarled branches reaching up to the sky like twisted fingers. At its base lay a stone altar, upon which rested a crystal orb pulsating with dark energy. With a sense of dread, Emily and her friends realized that the orb was the source of the sorcerer's power, the key to breaking the curse that had plagued Ravenwood for generations. But destroying it would not be easy. The orb was protected by powerful wards and ancient magic. Undeterred, Emily and her friends prepared for the ultimate battle. Armed with their wits and the knowledge they had gained, they faced the darkness head-on, their hearts filled with courage and determination. As they confronted the sorcerer's minions and fought their way through the enchanted forest, they knew that their journey would not end until the curse had been broken and Ravenwood was free from its grip. And so, as they stood before the ancient tree, the final battle began. With a mighty cry, Emily and her friends unleashed their combined power, shattering the wards that protected the orb and unleashing a wave of pure energy that engulfed the grove. In a blinding flash of light, the orb shattered into 1,000 pieces, its dark energy dissipating into the ether. As the darkness receded, Emily and her friends felt a sense of peace wash over them, the curse finally broken and Ravenwood saved from its grasp. As they emerged from the forest, they were greeted by the grateful cheers of the townsfolk, their faces filled with joy and relief. Emily and her friends had saved Ravenwood from destruction, their courage and determination shining like beacons in the darkness. And as they looked out over the town they had saved, Emily and her friends knew that their journey was far from over. For even as they celebrated their victory, new adventures awaited them, and new challenges would test their strength and resolve. But as long as they stood together, united in purpose and friendship, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. And so, as they walked into the dawn of a new day, their hearts filled with hope and determination, Emily and her friends knew that they were ready for whatever the future held. As Emily and her friends basked in the glory of their victory, the once shadowed streets of Ravenwood now bathed in the warm embrace of dawn, they felt a sense of peace settle over the town. But amidst the celebration, a new adventure beckoned, a journey beyond the boundaries of Ravenwood, into realms unknown. As they gathered in the town square, the townsfolk hailed them as heroes, their voices ringing out in gratitude and admiration. Emily and her friends shared smiles and nods of acknowledgement, humbled by the outpouring of support. But their hearts stirred with the call of the unknown, whispers of distant lands and untold mysteries tugging at their souls. They knew that their journey in Ravenwood was but a prelude to greater adventures awaiting them beyond the horizon. With a shared glance and a silent understanding, Emily and her friends made a solemn vow to embark on a new quest, to explore the uncharted territories that lay beyond Ravenwood's borders and seek out the wonders of the world. Armed with the knowledge they had gained and the bonds of friendship that bound them together, they set out on their journey, leaving behind the familiar comforts of home for the thrill of adventure and discovery. Their travels took them to far-off lands, where they encountered ancient civilizations and mystical creatures beyond imagination. They braved treacherous jungles, scaled towering mountains, and traversed vast deserts, each new challenge strengthening their resolve and deepening their bonds. Along the way, they faced dangers both natural and supernatural, from fierce beasts and hostile tribes to malevolent spirits and dark sorcery. But through courage, wit, and unwavering determination, they overcame every obstacle that stood in their path. As they journeyed, Emily and her friends grew wiser and stronger, their experiences shaping them into true heroes of legend. They became renowned throughout the lands for their bravery and kindness, earning the admiration and respect of all who crossed their path. But amidst the excitement of their adventures, they never forgot the town of Ravenwood and the friends they had left behind. In their hearts, they carried the memory of their home, a beacon of light that guided them through even the darkest of nights. And so, as they continued on their journey, exploring new lands and facing new challenges, Emily and her friends knew that no matter where their adventures took them, Ravenwood would always be their home, and the bonds of friendship they shared would always be their greatest treasure. For in the end, it was not the destination that mattered, but the journey itself, and the memories forged along the way. And so, with hearts full of courage and spirits ablaze with adventure, Emily and her friends ventured forth into the unknown, ready to face whatever the future held, together as one. As Emily and her friends journeyed through distant lands, they encountered wonders beyond imagination and perils that tested their courage to the limit. They traversed lush forests inhabited by mystical creatures, explored ancient ruins steeped in forgotten lore, and braved the depths of dark dungeons in search of legendary treasures. Their adventures took them to the heights of towering mountains, where they faced bitter cold and treacherous avalanches, and to the depths of murky swamps, where they battled venomous creatures and insidious curses. Through every trial and tribulation, they relied on each other's strengths, their friendship serving as an unbreakable bond that carried them through even the darkest of times. But amidst the thrill of their travels, Emily and her friends never forgot their roots in Ravenwood. They carried with them the lessons they had learned and the values instilled in them by their hometown, and they always made sure to lend a helping hand to those in need, no matter where their adventures took them. Their reputation as heroes continued to grow, spreading far and wide across the lands they visited. Tales of their bravery and kindness inspired hope in the hearts of all who heard them, and they became known as champions of the oppressed and defenders of the downtrodden. Yet, even as they reveled in their newfound fame, Emily and her friends remained humble, never seeking glory or riches for themselves. Their true reward lay in the knowledge that they had made a difference in the world, that their actions had brought light to the darkest corners and hope to the most despairing souls. As the years passed and their adventures continued, Emily and her friends grew older and wiser, their bonds of friendship deepening with each passing day. They faced countless challenges and overcame unimaginable odds, their courage and determination never faltering in the face of adversity. But even as they achieved greatness and earned the respect of all who knew them, they never lost sight of what truly mattered: the simple joys of friendship, love, and the beauty of the world around them. And so, as they looked back on their journey, Emily and her friends knew that they had lived a life worth remembering, filled with adventure, laughter, and above all, love. And as they prepared to face whatever new challenges lay ahead, they did so with hearts full of gratitude and spirits soaring with the knowledge that in their twilight years, as Emily and her friends gathered around a crackling campfire beneath a starlit sky, they reminisced about the countless adventures they had shared and the challenges they had overcome. But even as they laughed and shared stories late into the night, a sense of unease settled over them. For they knew that their greatest adventure was yet to come, a final quest that would test their courage and determination like never before. Rumors spoke of a long-forgotten artifact, hidden deep within the heart of a forbidden temple, guarded by ancient traps and deadly guardians. With a shared glance and a silent understanding, Emily and her friends knew that they could not rest until they had faced this ultimate challenge. And so, with hearts full of determination and spirits ablaze with excitement, they set out on their final journey, ready to defy the odds and seize their destiny. As they ventured into the depths of the temple, they encountered trials that pushed them to their limits, deadly puzzles that tested their wits, treacherous traps that threatened to ensnare them, and fearsome guardians that stood between them and their goal. But through sheer determination and unwavering resolve, they pressed on, overcoming every obstacle that stood in their way. With each step forward, they grew stronger, their bond as friends and companions proving to be their greatest weapon against the forces of darkness. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they reached the inner sanctum of the temple, where the artifact lay waiting, its power shimmering with an otherworldly glow. With a sense of reverence, they approached the artifact, knowing that their journey was reaching its climax. But as they reached out to claim their prize, a voice echoed through the chamber, a voice filled with malice and contempt. Before them stood the ancient guardian of the artifact, a towering figure wreathed in darkness, its eyes blazing with fury. With a roar that shook the very foundations of the temple, the guardian attacked, its powerful blows raining down upon Emily and her friends with relentless force. But they refused to back down, fighting with all their might against the darkness that threatened to consume them. In a climactic battle that echoed through the ages, Emily and her friends faced the guardian head-on, their courage shining like a beacon in the darkness. And as the final blow fell, shattering the guardian's form into a million shards of light, they knew that they had emerged victorious, their quest fulfilled and their legacy secured for eternity. As they emerged from the temple, the artifact in hand and their hearts filled with pride, Emily and her friends knew that their journey was complete. They had faced their greatest challenge and emerged triumphant, their bond as friends stronger than ever before. And as they looked out over the world that lay before them, they knew that their adventures were far from over. For as long as there were mysteries to uncover and challenges to overcome, Emily and her friends would be there, ready to face whatever the future held, together as one.